Jesus Christ, how much more time do I have in this fucking podcast? I usually like doing these things, man, but when my fucking head is all clogged like this, you know, when I lay down in my slippers having to podcast with a head cold, then that's a day's work, people. Now, I know you guys are out there doing construction. What the fuck do people do nowadays? Everybody, air quote, works from home now, which means they're out driving around on the highways during the day causing fucking rush hour traffic. You know what I mean? Because they saw something on Pinterest that they have to go pick up to add to their fucking wardrobe for their party that night, right? We should go back to making our own clothes. We should go back to that. You make your own clothes. You grow your own burgers, right? You want a fucking burger, go slaughter that cow, and then you figure out how to freeze the rest of that meat, or you're going to starve this winter there, pilgrim. I think there's something like that's going to happen. We're either going to regress to that after this shit hits the fan, or this Illuminati stuff is true, and the robots will kill all of us, and oh, wow, that'd be amazing. In the future, right? There's this Illuminati city. Everybody's dead except for the Illuminati people, right? And the other people that they keep making. They kept enough people, right, with good genes that they make fuck each other. So they keep making babies and stuff that they can use to fucking, you know, as almost like a parts car, you know, for organs when they reach maturity. I know this is fucked up, right? Sort of like Westworld meets... a guy with a head cold doing a podcast on a Thursday. That's how I'd pitch this in Hollywood. I'd come in, I'd say, hello, everybody. We do all this small talk, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You know, I'd read the fucking room, try to figure out, see where the laughs are going to be. You know, try to block out the ice cold person. That douche was just sitting there, you know, fidgeting with their fucking pen. And I would just pitch it. Oh, I'd pitch the hell out of it. So anyway, so then you have an Illuminati city. All right? And they feel like they've won, but they're actually prisoners because the robots have the city surrounded, you know? And they still have some robots, the older versions that are good, you know, that still work with the people. But the latest update of the one went fucking rogue and killed a couple of them. It was like the first people that died other than the parts people. In like hundreds of years. So they hit the fucking shield and they got this big bubble. Like the Simpsons that one time, right? They got this big bubble over the fucking city. And they stay in there with the older version of the robots, and they're the ones that have to try to protect them as the fucking higher level ones are trying to figure out how to get into the bubble. And that's what it is. And this weird thing, you'd have to root for these piece of shit humans. So then obviously what would happen is you'd have a really good-looking parts person like Ryan Gosling. And he, hey, Nia. Hi. Hi. And he would somehow, you know, he'd bang like the hottest Illuminati person, and she'd believe in him. And then him and one of the lesser robots would then fucking defeat the next level robots while freeing all the parts people and then killing the Illuminati people. There you go. And you could finish the story halfway through it and then get everybody to go to the second one, right? And then all you have to do is just show up down at Comic-Con wearing an Obi-Wan Kenobi robe, and I think you got $1 billion franchise. What do you think, Nia? You like that movie?
I love it.
What would you name that movie?
Bill's great idea for a movie.
Oh, Jesus. What are you doing on my phone?
I wasn't listening. I'm texting myself those pictures.
What pictures?
The pictures you took of me earlier with the baby.
That's it?
Yeah, I gotta get back to our child.
Oh, that's right. Forgot we had a kid. Come on, you guys. You know, somebody puts 10,000 hours into that idea, you got yourself a good fucking movie. There's a lot of hacky shit in there. You know? It's like Westworld meets fucking Moonraker with a dash of Happy Days. You know, because at some point, fucking Ron Howard directs. Ryan Gosling stars. He probably wouldn't do it because he already did Blade Runner. Did you guys see that one, the 2048 Blade Runner? That movie was the shit. I just noticed I've probably been coughing like every 5 fucking seconds on this. I apologize. I apologize, but I'm not going to take a cough drop. All right? Cough drops are for socialists. All right. Anyways, so, you know, I like when you do an interview, when you got a fucking show coming up, they go, Bill, so what can people expect from you? What are you going to be talking about when you come to town? Well, I can't fucking tell you that because then the jokes are going to be over. Everybody's going to know what I'm going to be talking about. What kind of fucking question is that? You sound like you're still angry. What angers you these days? I'm not angry. It's just my default emotion. I walk around relaxed, and then when anything happens, good or bad, I get it. And I don't, if it's good, I don't get angry. I had an overrated, underrated. Okay, you know what? Overrated. These new fucking elevators where I got to fucking hit like 20 goddamn buttons to let the elevator know that I'm going to floor 4 so it can fucking compartmentalize all the people there when I'm the only fucking person there. You know? And I got to take my key out and fucking run it over the scanner. I like the old school ones. We just got in, you push the button. First fucking 10 years I was on the road, that was the way it was. And I never had that guy from No Country from Old Men blow out the lock on my door. You know, it was completely fine. I remember one time I stayed in a bed and breakfast in fucking Colorado with this dude from Germany. It was so fucking creepy because he was walking the halls at night and I was just sitting there and the hall light would be on and I was looking at the light and I didn't have a lock. Did I? I think maybe I had a skeleton key and I was just sitting there. Oh, wow. I just remember my luggage. I had this ugly ass green, like made out of cloth bag. Cloth and plastic that this guy puked on one time. Oh my God, remember that? Jesus Christ, I've been through a lot of shit, people. All right, let's tell the German one first. So we'll tell the puke one. No, you got to close with the puke. I've already told that story, and it's so fucking gross. I've been puked on twice in my life. Once on my head, you know, everybody in my family had gotten sick, and we had this bathroom. It was a half a bathroom with no door. You were around the corner. No privacy whatsoever. We lived in a duplex. Squirrels got into the walls. I had to scare them out, and then my dad would kill them, you know. It was the 70s, 80s, you know. Shit like that happened. So there was no place I couldn't make a Facebook video and shame my landlord, you know, or my dad couldn't do that, you know. So you just... You had to kill the fuckers. I remember I had a broom and I was fucking shaking it, trying to get the thing to come out. And my dad was on the other side. He had this giant fucking butcher knife or a metal bar or something. I can't remember. And it was a metal bar. That's what it was. Like a big piece of lead or something. And he flushed that thing out and that fucking thing came running up the broom handle. I remember its eyes were wide as shit. Its tail was straight up in the air. This little brown cutie pie fucking ran up my arm and launched off of my shoulder. And I went, ah! And then it ran into the half a bathroom. And there was one way in and only one way out. My dad was in the way and he fucking brought that lead thing down right on the back of its fucking neck and just slowly killed the thing. And I watched him do it. So anyways, one time we were all fucking sick and I was in there finishing puking in the bathroom with no door. My brother came running in and just ran. And rather than puking in the fucking sink that was readily available, you know, we were young. So it was just like you puke in the toilet. And my head was obstructing the toilet. And it was like how low pressure goes to high pressure. It takes the most direct route, which is right through the airfoil, and that's how you get lift when you fly. He used those same principles when puking into the toilet. And my head was the airfoil. I remember he fucking puked on my head, and I just freaked out, and I was punching him as hard as I could in the stomach as he was continuing to puke. My parents came in. They were laughing their ass off at me. And the kitchen sink was there, and she just fucking dunked my head in there and fucking washed it. That was so gross. So gross. So then the second time I got puked on, I was trying to save money, and I was taking a bus from Manhattan to LaGuardia Airport. And we were almost at my terminal. I'd taken the subway up to Harlem and then took the bus over the bridge. And this dude just got up looking all gray. And he fucking projectile vomited. And he hit this sweet old lady in front of me on her chest. And it was like the Kennedy assassination where the spray just went back, except it didn't go to the left. It went to the right where I was sitting. And it got on my foot, my sock, and my lower pants, and all over my luggage. And then he just stumbled off the bus. And I was like, you motherfucker. And I wanted to beat the shit out of him. But I was broke and I needed the money and I had to go to my gig. I just glared at him as all I could do. And then I had to go in there, got off the bus, and now people are looking at me like I'm an animal because I smelled like fucking puke. And I went into the bathroom like beyond Tourette's. Took the sock off, the shoe off, but I only had one pair of footwear, so I threw out the sock. It's disgusting. I had to wash off my fucking pant leg the best I could. My sneaker was soaking fucking wet. I had one sock on, one sock off, walking in a squishy, wet fucking sneaker. And my fucking green cloth bag, I had wiped off all of the puke, but it was like stained and it had like the little fucking paper towel balls on it. It was so fucking gross. It was so fucking gross. And I then had to get on like a fucking flight to like Minnesota, just sitting there, smelling of stomach acid. And I got off the plane and I immediately went to a mall and I bought some sweatpants and the cheapest fucking sneakers and socks, and I just fucking threw the shit out. And I bought a bag. But I didn't have time to do that before I went to the mall. Oh my God, that was a fucking terrible trip. What a fucking terrible trip that was. But, you know, it's not as bad as what fucking happened on Southwest. It could have been worse. You know, that poor fucking woman. Jesus Christ. See, that's the second time I've heard of somebody getting sucked out like that. You ever hear that fucking story that that fucking mechanic put the new windshield in on the plane and they used the wrong fucking screws. They weren't long enough. And they're fucking flying like, you know, they're cruising altitude. So they got to be going 400 or 500 miles an hour and the fucking windshield flew off and the captain got sucked out, but his legs got stuck on the yoke and he was outside the fucking plane. And they were trying to hold on to him, and the door to the cockpit got blown in, and the guy couldn't slow down because it was on the controls. The stewardesses helped out, you know, when the air pressure, I guess, leveled off where they could move and not get sucked out, and they were trying to pull him in, and they couldn't. One of the stewardesses could see the guy outside the window looking at him, and he wasn't blinking. And she goes, "I think he's dead. We should let him go." Fortunately, they didn't. They ended up landing. It turned out the guy was in shock. It's fucking nuts. Just sitting there like catatonic. He got frostbite in one of his eyes. And it was just, and this is what kills me, is the fucking maniac was flying again in a couple of weeks. I think he still flies. I can't imagine. You know what the thing is what they really should have in the back of the plane is you should also have those shoulder harnesses. You should have that, you know, where it goes across your lap and then over your shoulder. So then if you're sitting next to the fucking window, God forbid, if the fucking thing blows out, you're still fine. But that would be prohibitively expensive. So I guess what I'm saying is get the aisle seat.